Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Trade. I'm Shane Vernier, and we're going to scalp the US Open. And today, we got a couple of different strategies that we're going to execute. We're going to look at that piranha strategy. I don't expect anybody watching this on YouTube or Facebook or X to know what these strategies are. Go to the How to Trade trading room, watch the videos, check the tutorials out. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to get in there. I'm going to execute a piranha trade, hopefully. Then we got a pendulum setting up, a beautiful pendulum setting up in the Euro USD. And then we've got a 9 EMA. And we're going to incorporate the 9 EMA strategy. We're going to work some confirmation with the RSI. So good to see everybody back in the room. Welcome. We're going to see if we can make a few pips today. Bobby Bob, good to see you. Dibble, good to see you. Mark Corb, JC, good stuff this morning. Quick shout out to Dibble, though. He left a message in the public chat, and that's what trading's all about. We get a lot of I wouldn't call it criticism, but we get a lot of input, a lot of feedback on these strategies. And typically it's one of two things. Hey, thanks, great strategy. I'm going to go run it. Or this thing will never work. It can't work. What you've got to do as a trader is you got to say, okay, this is a base strategy. Is this how I want to trade? Is this the basis for something maybe I want to do? And that's what Dibble's done. He's incorporating all sorts of tools there. He's talking market structure. He's talking external indicators, combining indicators, understanding market state and structure, finding the right time frame. If you can do those things, you can win in the markets. Now, one last thing I'm going to say before we go to work here. There's a huge group of people out there that don't believe that that this can be done. They don't believe that you can find an edge in the markets, and they do not believe it can be done. And I highly recommend maybe staying away from the YouTube guys that are showing you Lamborghinis and I just sold my Porsche and I'm moving to New York City type of thing. Careful with those, but get into the nuts and bolts of the market. Start learning about it. Understand what drives price action. Understand how an indicator works and what it's supposed to do. And then sit down and say, how do I want to trade? Do I want to scalp, or do I want to day trade, or do I want to swing trade? There's infinite edges in the market. It's your job to find one and execute it as many times as you can. That's all I'm going to say about that. Believe me, it can be done. It can be done. But there's a lot of naysayers out there, that's for sure. And that's good. That's the way it's supposed to be. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I hear that 100 times a day. Yeah, but not everybody would do it, even if it was easy, because you got to get out of bed. You got to do the work. You got to figure it out. You got to secure the liquidity. You got to stick to risk management. You got to wait and be patient, even on days when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. That's what it's all about. Very few people can do that. It's hard. It's just you and the screen, you and the market. And switch markets. If you need a broker, check out Switch Markets. They'll double your deposit, 100% credit bonus. If you want to boost your liquidity or your purchasing power instantly, check it out. All right, right here, Scalping 101. Let's go to work. What you need to succeed. If you're going to scalp, scalping is taking a small number of ticks over and over and over and over again and accumulating small numbers of ticks to build your profit and your financial freedom. That's what it's all about. In order to do that, no matter what market you're trading, you're going to need low latency market access. You're going to need minimal slippage. You're going to need low commissions, as low as you can get them, and you need consistent volatility. Now, on a day like today, U.S. session just opened about 30 minutes ago, Wall Street session. It's not going to be hard for us to find volatility. I'm looking at the tote board right now. We're all over the map. We're going to be able to do that. But consistent volatility. Number one thing scalpers make a mistake on is they try to trade their strategy when there's no volatility in the market. If you do that, you'll get crushed. You will get crushed. So we're focused on a real volatile time. For the Forex, it's the London-New York overlap, so there's a lot of action, a lot of volatility. For the U.S. equities indices, they're all over the map right now, a lot of volume, a lot of participation, and also for our commodities, U.S. session for commodities. Typically, you don't necessarily see the biggest moves, but you see the biggest volumes consistently. So that's what you need to succeed if you want to be a scalper. And then why scalp? Well, very simple. Reduce systemic risk. We're in and out of the market, so we're not going to be maybe a huge news event's not going to derail us. We're not going to get into trouble if, in fact, there's a missile strike on the other side of the world, or if a gasoline pipeline breaks, or a terrorist attack. That's one reason, systemic risk. We're in and out so fast that we're really not exposed to the broader market risks and the risk of a complete market meltdown. Minimal capital outlay. You don't need a lot of money to scalp. You really don't. You're not taking these great big huge stop losses and putting them in. You can afford to trade higher leverage because your stop losses are tighter. So you can a minimal capital outlay. Yeah, you really could. You really could trade with a scalp with less money. Over the long haul, you don't need $100,000 to show up and play swing trades. And then you got statistically quantifiable results because you're placing so many trades. within the course of a month, maybe 2 months, you're going to have a body of work to see if you're getting the job done and if you're not. And lastly, it's action-packed. A lot of us are action junkies, including myself. And, I always like to be busy. And with scalping, you're busy. Okay, this right here is a good look at the Piranha strategy. Once again, check out our videos on how to trade. Check them out and see if you want, if this strategy is something that you're interested in. Very basic. We've got a Bollinger Bands. We put a set of Bollinger Bands on there with a periodicity of 12. We define that, and this is the Great Britain Pound USD 5-minute chart. This is as easy of a scalping situation as it gets. You're going to look to sell the upper Bollinger Band. You're going to look to buy the lower Bollinger Band, okay? You're going to look to make 5 pips profit, and you're going to risk 10 pips on your stop loss. Now, this works best in flat markets. Now, not necessarily markets that aren't volatile, but flat ones. So right here, you've got to start your trading day sometime with the Piranha. Okay, you can do that anytime you want. Just do some back testing. For me, we just started it. When we started this stream, we just did it. So right here, we're looking at potentially getting a trade here. And I want to go with a limit order let's see, right up at our upper Bollinger Band, which is right around 130.76. We're going to go ahead and put that down. Take profit, 5, stop loss 10. Now we don't want to buy it. Excuse me, we want to sell it. Sell it. All right, I already messed it up. In any case, let's flatten that out. Very basic stuff here. I shouldn't have messed that up, but I wanted to not miss it. All right, right there. What are we going to do? Sell. Sell limit order. We want to go from the top Bollinger Band. Upper Bollinger Band is what? Upper Bollinger Band is right there at 130.77. So let's go ahead and put it down. Remember, sell limit order. We want this in the queue. Take profit, stop loss, sell it. Okay, so if in fact this price hits our upper Bollinger Band, we're going to be short. Okay, right now we're short. So what are we looking to do here? Our profit target is 5 pips down the way, and to the top side, it's going to be 10 pips. So what exactly should we expect out of this trade? You know, is it exact? I mean, we can move this up quarter pips, I guess. It just needs to be 50. So we could bring it up right there is going to be your profit target, okay? And then your stop loss is going to be right up here at 100. Feel free to do it manually. But you'll notice I led off the session with a mistake. Why? Because scalping happens fast. We're short right now. This looks like a pretty good trade. Let's go to our trading dome. You'll see our profit target's going to be right down here, right around 130.72. Will we, in fact, get an opportunity to get out with a little bit of money? So far, it looks pretty good. We're in the positive. Would I like to start off with $50? Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. Sometimes these Piranha trades, though, they take a long time to develop. I think this one's going to come our way relatively quickly, and you just sit back and watch. Once this type of trade has been put down, is in the queue, you hit your entry, you've got your stop loss down and your profit target. Now, you'll notice, okay, right here, it looks like we're going to get filled up potentially. You notice we got to get on the right side of that bid-ask spread, which is a few of the fractional pips right now, 130.73, 130.72. Okay, right there, we're filled up. Bang, we're off and running. We just made $50 on that trade. How did we do it? The Piranha, 5 minutes, okay? 5-minute chart, Great Britain Pound USD. We're looking to sell the upper Bollinger Band. We're looking to buy the lower one. Now, there are some additional rules for the trade that you make next. Now, because we won, we can take any trade we want. We can either buy the bottom or sell the top. Now, if we would have lost that trade, we have to wait for another setup on the opposite Bollinger Band. So right here, it looks like the market's coming our way. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get into a buy mode. We want to buy limit order. What's our lower Bollinger Band? And remember, this is labor-intensive stuff. Let's just eyeball it and go 130.60, something like that. Take profit. Remember, 5 and 10, and these are skewed for some reason. 5, 10, and that's where we want to buy. So there's our buy limit order right in the queue down there. It's on our lower Bollinger Band. Now, remember, we have to be ready to do anything here. When this Bollinger Band moves, we have to be ready to adjust our orders. And that's labor intensive. So we're going to bounce around here and show you some different trades. But that was a good example of a Piranha. Right now, I would much rather buy this thing than sell it again. But we can do either. If price retraces back to our upper Bollinger Band, we could sell it again. It's a very, very good time to be doing this because there's enough volatility in the market, but the Great Britain Pound USD isn't necessarily trending. You see, we're only up 0.08% on the day. We're moving sideways, but those brackets, those Bollinger Bands are wide enough, about 15 pips right now, to where there's enough for us to make money. That's pretty good conditions for your Great Britain Pound USD Piranha. All right, let's move on to the next strategy. We're up $50. Not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. We'll go ahead and leave this potentially and see exactly, if we come back. But remember, our Bollinger Band, we need to be accurate here. As accurate as we can. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, getting, trying to be there with a fractional pips is almost impossible because the Bollinger Bands move so fast. But something like that, always be updating that. We're not necessarily going to stick with this strategy much longer. I want to do this one. All right, guys, this is one that is fascinating to me. This is a 1-minute chart in Q. Now, we showed you how to do this yesterday, but we did it with a crossover. We did it with a 920 crossover with RSI confirmation. Don't get confused, guys. This is not going to be This is not going to be difficult at all. We're going to go ahead and open up our trading dome here. These essentially are market orders. You're not necessarily going to sell limit orders unless you're working a pullback strategy, and I'll talk about that in a second if, in fact, the time comes. E-mini NASDAQ futures, by far one of the most volatile markets you're ever going to find. You've got a really incredible breakout going right here. This shouldn't surprise anybody. We see these pretty much each and every day on the open. So we're going to use some RSI confirmation with a basic 9 EMA strategy. Now, this YouTube video was very popular, and essentially what it was, the most basic way to trade the 9 EMA is when you get a price bar that crosses and closes above your 9 EMA, you're going to buy the market. When you get a price bar that crosses beneath the EMA and closes down there, you're going to sell the market. You put your stop loss above or below the previous swing high or swing low, and then you just let it rip. Okay. Today, we're going to incorporate RSI confirmation. Now, the RSI is the relative strength index. The settings are sort of right behind my picture here. But we're going to stick with the default settings, a periodicity of 14. All right, the periodicity of 14. And we're going to look for areas where the market's overbought or oversold. Now, when we're beneath 30, this band down here, this purple box, the top side of that is 70 and the bottom side's 30. So when our RSI value gets beneath 30, we're in oversold territory. We're going to look to buy the market. Now, in that situation, our 9 EMA is going to be our trigger. Think of it as a rifle. We've got our finger on the trigger. As soon as we get that bar close, following that oversold territory, we get a positive bar close above that 9 EMA. What are we looking to do? We're looking to buy that thing. We're looking to buy it. Now, right now, we have a trade setting up. Now, remember, this is 1-minute chart. This is extremely tight trading, but right now probably is the time of day to do this. We're in overbought territory. What does that mean? It means the RSI is up above 70. We want to sell the market. Now, we can't I don't recommend just trading the RSI naked. I don't believe that you ought to get in there and just sell this thing when it's in overbought territory. I think you're going to run into trouble in real strong trends. As you can see, let's say you sold right here, you've gone for a pretty good ride, and it's getting worse. So what I would be looking for right now, if I was trading this 9 EMA, we're in overbought territory, which is beautiful. I want a negative candle. I want a negative candle and a close beneath our 9 EMA. Now, if we get that, we're going to be able to short this market. We're going to be able to put our stop loss. We can manage our trade a couple ways. Initially, I would put my stop loss above that swing high and look to build maybe a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3 trade with our risk versus reward on a bearish pullback. That's not necessarily the worst way to trade in the world. It isn't. It isn't. Is it great? Is it the road to riches? No. If you try to do something like this during the overnight, when there is no volume in the NASDAQ, what's going to happen? Oh, never mind. You made a bunch of money there. You got in on a great trend there. How about here? You were looking to sell there. Yeah, you sold there and got chopped out of that one. But the second time, you got it to win. So, and there's a little bit of volume there right around CPI or PPI this morning. Excuse me. We're going to cover that at the mid-session brief. But right now, this setup looks pretty good. The setup looks pretty good. Now, is the NASDAQ trending right now? No. We're on a 1-minute chart, and it looks like the biggest trend of all time, but it is not. Why? I'm looking over at my tote board right over here. Never forget where you're at for the day. Where are we at for the day? We're about at scratch. We're about at scratch right there. We're at negative 0.04%. That's not a move. What would I love to see on this trade? We're in overbought territory, a negative close beneath the 9 EMA, and maybe a reversion back down to this market structure that occurred right on the open about 45 minutes ago. I would love that. I think that's a pretty good trade, and I have no problem taking it. The real question is are we going to get an opportunity to do that on this live stream? I don't necessarily know. So we're going to put a pin in that and see exactly what happens there. I'm going to be bouncing around a lot. If you're going to be a scalper, you got to be fast. Let's go back to our Piranha trade. What do we have here? Interesting setup here. I'm not, we won this piranha, so we're free to sell it or buy it. We can do whatever we want on it. Do we want to sell it up there again? I'm sort of partial to the buy, but remember, you have to keep adjusting your entry points and your profit targets to make these things always as current as they could possibly be with respect to your Bollinger Bands. Remember, the Bollinger Bands are what gets you into these piranha trades. If you're a little bit confused, it's all right. Be sure to go back, check out the video. We cover that thing in about 6 minutes. We've got PDFs. We got everything you need to learn the piranha. For right this minute, do I want to sell up here? I mean, for the sake of argument, could we get into another trade? Yeah, we could. Do you want to do it? That's the big question. We already made money on that short. I would love to make money on the long. We're free to do whatever we like. Let's go ahead and put it in there. Order. What do you got here? I want to sell the market. We're going to have a limit order right up here at this upper Bollinger Band, which we're going to put right in the neighborhood of 130.76. Take profits 5, stop losses 10, sell it. Let's see what we have. Now, you want to be as accurate as you possibly can with that thing. Okay, that's where we want to be. We want to be right there with 50. I want to get out. As soon as we get our 5 pips, we're going home. We're taking the money and we're going home. Right there. And that's your stop loss. 99 is going to have to work for us. So that's our trade right now on the piranha. We're either buying the lower or selling the upper. All right, let's keep it closer with that one's set up and ready to go right here. So we got something setting up here. It's beautiful. It's in overbought territory. The NASDAQ's in overbought territory. The real question is can we get a negative close and really line up our stop loss to give ourselves a chance to win? We got to wait. We got to wait and see. Waiting's the hardest part, guys. They pay us to wait. They don't pay us to trade. This looks like it's coming our way, though. Get a nice big negative candle, bit of a sell-off here, and then we sell it and take our position, and we just let it ride. You'd love to see it happen here in the next couple minutes so we could execute the trade, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. One last thing I'd like to stress, right there on your US Open, notice our our RSI down there, oversold. What happened there? We were looking to buy in right above that line. Did we get there? Right there? Did we get that buy? It's close. Probably not. Got it right there. You definitely got it right in there. If you take that long, stop loss would have been beneath pretty much your session low right there, that 5-minute low. Made a lot of money on that trade. You really did. Now, all right, here we go. We're setting up beautifully here. It's exactly what we want to see. All right, probably another minute, maybe another 2 minutes out. We need to get that bar closed beneath the 9 EMA, and then we're going to crush that trade. All right, right there. See, this is the frustrating part about scalping, and I'm going to let you in on it. I've been doing this a lot of years. That's tough right there. High right there is 130.76. Where's my entry? 130.77. Let's bring it right down. We're going to bring it right there on that upper Bollinger Band. Scalping's a game of inches. That's why you have to have the low latency connection. You need to have a fast computer if you can do it. And you also need to have nerves of steel and an attention span that's absolutely unbelievable. This is what you do all day if you're scalping. You're constantly building these trades. Now, you can automate. You can always automate. Some of you are technically savvy. You can always automate. But, that's sort of up to you. I've been down the automation road and got away from it. All right here, our trade looks like it's setting up beautifully. All right, let's cover one more while this thing's setting up. Perhaps we'll get a negative close. I would love to sell this thing. And we're just going to sell at market on that close, and we're going to put our stop loss right above that spike high, and we're going to look to ride this thing to at least a 1-to-1 risk versus reward. I think we'll have a pretty good chance at winning this one. I mean, this is strong right here. This is overbought. We're still in overbought territory. Remember, not everything's exact. You don't always get to sell right when the market's overbought. What you've got to do is give this some time. Let's say we creep back down in in between that 70-30 on the RSI. Then we're going to look to sell it anyways because we're looking for a sell signal. Make sense? Or we just break out and keep trending higher. That could be too. Great Britain pound, we're still a little bit short there, short of our entry point. Doesn't look like we're going to get it. All right, one last scalp that I want to point out, and this would definitely qualify as a scalp. Earlier today, you had a PPI release out. Okay, you had a PPI, and what that is, Producer Price Index. I'm going to unpack that for you at the U.S. Mid-Session Brief, our weekly wrap. But what we're looking for out of this pendulum strategy, and we had a couple winning pendulums and a losing pendulum earlier this week. If you don't know what it is, check out our strategy section. You can get all over it. But right there, you got a nice big bar. To me, that range is everything. All we do is we find our swing high, our spike highs resistance up there. We find our swing low, our spike lows, downside support. We're looking for a test of that area, and then we're either going to sell a 10% pullback, or we're looking for the test of that area, and we're going to buy a 10% pullback. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to the pendulum. Our stop loss is beautiful. It's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio, 109.48, and then right there's 109.38. In this case, it's going to be about 10 pips. Your stop loss is going to be right up there at 58. So remember, this pendulum, we've used it in sort of a swing trading type of a strategy. And, it doesn't have to be. You can scalp with it. Something like this is absolutely fantastic. Euro USD typically rotates. We're looking for a hit on that top and a pullback. I would love that trade. 10 pip risk, 10 pip reward. That's fantastic. You could also extend this and look for that 20 pip gain. Okay, what do we got here? Great Britain pound USD. Did we get in there? Okay, it looks like we've been elected for our second Piranha trade. Let's go ahead. We're going to wait and see how this plays out. You'll notice that my entry's not perfect. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to stress it because we're pretty darn close. 130.76.6 is where we're at, and 130.77.2. That's about 6 fractional pips. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Just be as much as you can. Let me see, Marcorp. Nice bullish run on the Guppy this morning. Yeah, Guppy's all over. Let's take a look at our Nasdaq. Okay, are we gonna get this thing? Are we gonna get this opportunity to trade right now? This is what we want. We're still in overbought territory on our RSI. We just want that close. Okay, right here. Here we go. Let's get that close beneath the 9 EMA, and I want it to be obvious. I don't want to play around here. Okay, it looks like we got a chance here. 16, 15, 14. Come on, let's get this trade right here. 12, 11, 10. I want this 1 minute bar to close beneath that 9 EMA. If it does, then we've got an opportunity to go short there. Look at bounced right off of that 9 EMA. This is going to be a close one. 0, 1. Did we close? Nope, not quite. We've got to see a negative close, so maybe another minute. We want this minute bar. Cross me over and close right there and get us short. If we can get short, then we're going to have a chance to win that thing. I think it's going to be a pretty good trade right there. That 9 EMA is acting as support, as it really has right in there. Bang. Are we going higher or lower? If, in fact, we close beneath this, this might be a pretty good 1 minute turning point. Remember, we're going 1 minute chart. We're going 1 minute chart on E-mini NASDAQ futures. It really doesn't get much more hectic than this if you're a scalper. Let's see. I mean, fortunes are changing hands on this thing. But if you want to scalp and make money, I mean, this is probably what you'd be doing a strategy like this on. Let me see right here. Universal Ice Chain. What about the PPI data and how will it affect gold in the future? Yeah, we're going to unpack all that at the mid-session brief. I'll do one. We're going to look at gold here towards the end of the stream here in another few minutes, and then I'll break it down. And to be honest with you, I haven't even looked at the PPI data this morning. I was looking. I saw the release. I saw the volatility, but I haven't got to read it or really take a look at where the producers were really squawking about their prices. So we're going to do that a little bit later today. I need some more prep time. It's relatively early here. Well, it doesn't look like we got it. So there's our filter. There's our filter. We didn't get that close. So that filter right there kept us out of the trade. That's what this is all about, guys. When you put filters in play, they're designed to keep you out of bad trades. And right there, if you got greedy and you wanted to jump the gun and say, I'm going to take the sell anyways, we're in overbought territory, you just probably are going to get stopped out right above that swing high. That's too bad. That's really too bad. So yeah, Universal, I'll cover that just a little bit later today. Also, we'll have a trade ID out in the trading room. I got to take a look. Gold may be a candidate, 2650 though. Nice rally out of gold. Still waiting on that to come through. How's this this Piranha trade going? Not real well. We're taking a draw right here. If in fact we get filled up here in the next 5 minutes, I would be surprised. But it sort of looks like we're breaking out. Are we sort of running maybe at that swing high, that market structure? We still have a pretty good stop loss up there though. So this jury's still out on this trade. We'll see if it wins or if it loses. All right, can we get an entry here? We'll stick with it for one more minute, and that'll be it here. Euro USD, though, I really do like this one. I think we're going to have a chance to get a test of that 109.50 and then a pullback sell from 48. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, let's take a look at gold. The way that I like to scalp is pullbacks, Fibonacci's. This is a trend day. I'm looking at gold right now. You're up about almost 1%. Your 30-minute chart tells you really everything that you need to know. It really does. It's like, bang, okay, there's your rally, there's your pullback, there's your rally. So there's your PPI number. We've broken out above PPI. For me, I go right down to, say, a 5-minute chart, and I'm looking either to buy it or sell it. For me, you can see there's a couple ways to do this. You could go against the trend if you're a smart money guy that likes order blocks. Right there, I mean, those are liquidity sweeps right there. Bang, bang. So what do you have here? Do you want to buy and maybe break out above 53, or do you want to sell it? Well, I mean, if we're scalping, I could sell right here and stop myself out right above that market structure. I could do that. So my stop loss will be somewhere up there. And the idea here is that we're going to get a pullback back down into maybe this order block here. So if, in fact, I was interested in maybe making a little bit of money, put my profit target right down there, maybe 26.51. Now, the problem you're going to have with doing this on something like a spot gold or a gold CFD is that those spreads can be really tough to overcome when you're scalping. I would recommend, if you're going to scalp, to use a futures contract. I really would, because you can see even if we execute this trade perfectly and it sells off and we hit our number and everybody throws their hands up, we're not necessarily going to make much money. It's not going to be much money there. It looks like, judging by where this spread is, maybe we're going to have another, $50, something like that. Is it worth it? Maybe not. You'll see that we're sort of on the hook for a little bit more. But you could stop yourself out. You've got a double top on the 5-minute. You could stop yourself out above that market structure and just take a small loss while you're shooting for maybe a 1-to-1. I recommend always sort of don't go beneath a 1-to-1 when you're scalping, or else you're going to be a long-term loser. But right there, let's take a good look at what happens here. We've got a chance to win that trade. Do I like it? Not really. Not really. Now, as far as gold, though, I mean, it's a big up day. We're going to have something written up for you probably in the next, hour or so. I got to write up a trade idea. No problem. All right, Universal, thank you. All right, did we finally get our trade? Nope. All right, guys, we're going to have to bail on this E-mini NASDAQ. Doesn't look like it's going to go our way, but take a good look at what we had. That 9 EMA, the inability for that bar right there to cross over and really line up with our confirmation saved our bacon, kept us out of a bad trade. What can you say about that? I don't know. Let's take a look at another one of these. The YM. Okay, the YM right here, E-mini Dow. What do you have? Sort of right there. You were in overbought territory. You were in overbought there. Bang, bang, right there. This would be the latest one when you're in overbought. Right here, you would be looking to sell. You would have sold and got stopped out there. Equities moving higher. Remember, this is sort of a trend-following approach. We want to see these markets turn and go in our direction in a big way. Right here, take a look at the E-mini S&P 500. Tremendous. We're in deep in overbought territory. We're looking for a negative close beneath that 9 EMA, and then we can send them short. Just remember to have your stop losses down. You're going to want to do that. Great Britain Pound USD, this looks like it might trade back down to our level, and we'll get an opportunity maybe to make a few bucks. So we're definitely going to be watching that. And as far as the gold trade goes, we're still in there. That's a tight scalp. That's a market structure scalp right there. Do we, in fact, get paid off? Hard to say. All right, everybody. So that's a look at what a scalper does. Whether or not you want to deploy, 3 or 4 different strategies at once, whether or not you want to just do one. I scalp. I have about 4 or 5 things I like to do, and I can execute them and do them. One of the best ways that I like to scalp is to look at longer time frames. I like to look at, say, key support and resistance levels on daily, weekly, and monthlies. And then I go down to my 1-minute charts and I trade off of those levels. And we look for short-term compression around those zones. And typically that gives me a chance to get in and take my money. Full disclosure, guys, what does a 1-minute chart really mean? Not much. Not much. This is a textbook example. If you're trading RSI naked, which some traders do, you're getting crushed on that trade. You didn't win. I think this is a far better way to try to choose market reversals, is try to combine an RSI with that 9 EMA. That can at least give you a fighter's chance of staying out of trends against you. And then one last time on our Piranha. The Piranha is just going to get you active. You're going to take a bunch of trades a day. This one's going against us a little bit. We'll see what happens there. That Great Britain Pound USD, it wouldn't surprise me if we rotate back down and get paid. This one right here looks like we're going to get stopped out on this gold trade. Stop loss has to be right above that double top. You just pull the Band-Aid off and you get out. Right there, it's breaking. We knew on a short scalp using market structure like that, we're going against a trend. Is that a low probability scalp or a high probability? It's a medium probability. That means that your risk versus reward, you have to be able to take that loss. We haven't taken it yet, but you have to be able to take it. And I always recommend putting it just a few pips above things like double tops because you don't want to see this market go one tick in your favor and then reverse. You don't want to see that. Let me see. Universal, yeah, the DAXI's creating dojis, pushing up on the M15. You may take profit on gold. We'll see. You know, you're absolutely 100% right, Universal. Dollar strength, gold goes down. Typically on day trading basis, that's what we see. I'm not discouraged by that doji. We sort of have a 5-minute triple top there, and we could definitely go down and at least test the guts of this order block, or we could break out and go higher. Very, very difficult to say what's going to happen here. Probably going to get stopped out. Okay, right there. Are we short? There's our NASDAQ trade we've been waiting on. Is it a good one or a bad one? We just went ahead and sold. I'm going to go ahead and just take the trade for the sake of argument. Okay, right there. There's your close beneath the 9 EMA. You're in overbought territory. We're fighting sort of, we're definitely fighting 1-minute pressure. Where's my stop loss at? It's right up there, 2040.82. Now remember, this risk is going to be significant. You go to that micro. You can always trade micro NASDAQ, E-micros, and that takes the leverage way down. Takes the leverage way down there. Looks like we're just going to get swept out of here, though, which is not to be surprised. Remember, we're looking for big moves. We want to get in on big, robust, changes in the trend. Right now, we're going up. We're going to get stopped, it looks like to me. And once we hit our stop loss, I'll put a few ticks above that. Once we hit that, though, we're gone. So 24.83 is our level. But if we do break down, you need to be taking at least a 1-to-1, which is going to be somewhere right down in here, probably around 35, something like that. Remember, don't lose a bunch more than you make. This right here is an interesting trade. We're starting to see, you were overbought, bang, we got our close. We rotated back up. That happens. This is moving average trading, guys. Should I be bullish or bearish right now? According to my confirmation, I should be bearish. I'm going to discount that 1-minute bar closing above the 9 EMA. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. What we're looking for, did we lock in a top? Is our stop loss important here? All right, are we making any money at all here? We're up a few bucks. I wouldn't be too impressed with anything until I see a move, probably down to that 40. Where's our entry at? 2040.62. So we sold right in here. Somewhere in there. Bang. 62. Okay, now we're starting to make some money. 62 there is our out. So 62 and 83. We're looking for 20. I'm looking for 40. Let's go ahead and look for 42. That's going to be our profit target. And that's just my personality. I'm a 1-to-1 trader. That's what I do. But you could feel free to put this thing down here at 20 if you want to try to get that big move, that big turning point. Right now we're coming into sort of an interesting time. It's going to be the third, let me see, A, B, C. This will be C period. Is the top in or isn't it in? Hard to say. It doesn't look like, judging by our 1 minute, we're getting that compression right around that 9 EMA. Doesn't look like really, doesn't look like it. It looks like we're going to go up, but we can still break down. Remember, the biggest thing with these strategies is have your risk and have your reward lined up. Right now, this trade's at about scratch. Doji. Remember, though, if you're systems trading, if you're scalping, once your stop loss is down and your profit targets are down and you're in, that's it. You let it run. You let it run because I don't know anybody that can outguess a 1-minute chart. I have no clue. I don't know anybody that can do that. This looks like we got a chance to get our break. If we get our break down, we're going to get paid. All right now it's starting to look good. We're going to see a little bit of that bearish pressure. Now look at our RSI. Our RSI is reverting back down into the center of our range, our 70-30 range. It's starting to look good. Are we going to get paid off? That's what I want to know. I want to hit that 42 level. Okay, right there. That's our break. I'm just looking for an easy 1-to-1. 43, about right around 42 is fine with me. Now, look, we're rotating back up to that 9 EMA. We want to hit our profit target as soon as we can. At least I do. With scalping, I want to be in and out. But right here, you've got decent location. The question is are we going to make any money? Right now, we're in the money by about $400, but we were just up about $800. We want to see this trend continue, go down and fill us up. Will it work? Won't it work? I don't know. We got to see. So right there, that's really a good look at how to trade that 9 EMA with RSI confirmation. Always hard for me to give back money, but we're right back around scratch. And you're seeing that this market is definitely compressing and loading up. It could go either way. It wouldn't shock me at all if we went up and ran the tops before finally turning. But this looks like a rotational day. If you get into choppy price action, now we're behind. Now we're getting throttled a little bit. Looks like we're finally going to see our break up, stop us out. That it is what it is. 1 to 3% of your trade account on any given trade. That's what I would recommend. Gold stopped us. We got slammed right there. 5-minute chart against the trend, highly risky, but still decent trade. You had a double top there and some market structure. And then as far as your Great Britain pound USD, Piranha strategy still very much in the mix there. So, all right, everybody, that's enough for today. Scalping wise, that's the mindset. That's how you do it. The real question is what strategy are you going to use, and how are you going to make the money day after day after day doing it? Not an easy way to live. Not an easy way to live. All right, I'll be back in a couple hours here. We'll break down that PPI figure. We'll talk about all the runners. We'll talk about the gold. It looks to me like we're going to go significantly higher in gold. Silver's way up. We're looking at right there, nice runner in the Great Britain pound Japanese yen. A lot going on. All right, everybody, that's it for now. Trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See you.